So I'm sick and tired of having intrusive thoughts all the time. Are you having those? Yeah, they're awful, aren't they? These intrusive thoughts are, they can pop up on you when you're just minding your own business. They can pop up on you when you're triggered by something. And usually these intrusive thoughts lead to some feelings that we don't really like experiencing very much. So let's talk about intrusive thoughts. So stay tuned. These intrusive thoughts that we have in affair recovery could be anything from just remembering something we read between our spouse and the affair partner. It could be maybe a picture we have in our mind of certain things maybe they did together, maybe something our spouse said to us about whatever it is, that thought permeates, and a lot of times it spins us into either, if we weren't triggered, we are now, or it becomes an obsessive thought that we have a hard time getting rid of. And it can even lead us down the rabbit hole of emotional spinning, if you will. We start spinning and we start going through obsessive cycles because of this thought. So let's just talk about intrusive thoughts as what they are for a moment. They're normal. When we experience trauma, the way that trauma imprints itself in our mind, these intrusive thoughts are connected to that. I mean, you can't turn your brain off. Your brain is always working. And thoughts are just that. They're just thoughts. We have thoughts, a million thoughts a day, right? These intrusive thoughts, though, tend to carry with them emotions and carry with them memories of a trauma that triggers you. So it's kind of interconnected into this painful cycle. This is why we don't like them. This is why we don't want to think about them. But I think it's important we understand that they're normal. Our brain is just doing what our brain does. Our brain is giving us information. It's providing something for us. Now, whether it's helpful or not, it's irrelevant. Our brain's going to continue to do this because this is just how we're wired. So dealing with intrusive thoughts, there's a lot of different ways in which one could do that. I've talked about strategies involving pulling yourself into the present moment, because most likely the intrusive thought you're having is the past, right? It's a memory of the past. It could be a worry about the future, but a lot of times it's dragging you to the past. But rarely is an intrusive thought having anything whatsoever to do with what's happening like right now. So grounding yourself into the present moment is going to be key. All right, that's what I want you to do. I want you to practice those. Go back to that video, practice those strategies of being present in the moment. Then it's about how you see this thought. So what I want us to learn how to do, and yep, this is going to be uncomfortable, but sit in the discomfort of the thought. Whatever that thought is, perhaps we'll just take an example. Perhaps the thought is about a text exchange that you read between your spouse and the affair partner. And it's ingrained in your long-term memory thanks to PTSD. You've got that. That picture pops in your head, and in that text exchange, he told her he loved her and he could not wait to spend the rest of his life with her, or something like that, okay? This thought pops in your head, it's painful, and it brings with it all of those emotions tied to it, the pain, the anger, the resentment, the fear, all of that just starts bubbling to the surface. But let's just take the thought, let's sit with it. I know. Oh my gosh, Monica, this is so uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. Just try it. Sit with the thought. If you need to, take it out of you and put it in front of you. Okay? But just sit with it, look at it, examine it. This is curious. Why am I thinking about this right now? What does this have to do with my present moment? Does this have anything to do with my present moment? It's very curious. Be curious about it. I'm curious why I'm thinking about this right now. That's interesting that my brain would choose this thing to think about. Thoughts in themselves cannot hurt you. It's what you're doing, where you're taking that thought, that creates the pain. Because from that thought, if you don't do this exercise and you don't sit with it and you don't sit with the discomfort and examine it for what it is, if you choose to take that thought and start running down the road with it, here's what it becomes. If he told her he loved her, he must not love me. And if he doesn't love me and he really loves her, then that means I'm wasting my time. And suddenly you've moved all the way over here. This intrusive thought has taken you from point A to point Z in a matter of 5 seconds. This is why it's important just to sit with it. This thought is a memory. This thought does not have any place in your present moment. This thought is not helpful and certainly has nothing to do with your future. It's a memory. Your brain is okay. It's not doing anything wrong. It's just doing what brains do. Okay, you've got me. Here's this thought. I'm going to sit in this discomfort for a moment. I'm going to examine this. I'm curious why I'm thinking about it. And then I'm going to decide this thought doesn't have a place in my present. That's why it's important you do those exercises first, okay? Pull yourself to the present moment so that your emotional level's coming down a little bit. But sit with the discomfort. I know this isn't an exercise you really want to do, but I'm telling you, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. It has no bearing on your present. It's most likely involved in your past. So once you've done this and you're able to dissolve the thought and put it back where it belongs, you just say, thanks, brain. Okay, I feel you. All right. It's just a thought. Keep telling yourself that, okay? I know it's oversimplified, but give it a try and see if that doesn't help you next time you have an intrusive thought. But seriously, totally normal, you guys. Totally normal. Totally normal. All right. You need help working with those intrusive thoughts and you're looking for someone to help you do that. I work with all of my clients on intrusive thoughts, and managing emotions are probably in the top 5 of the things I work with my clients on. So book a free session below and I'll see if maybe we're a good fit and maybe I can help you along your journey. No obligation whatsoever. The link is below, as well as some freebies I'd love for you to grab and join my Facebook group. All right, until we see each other again, get practicing to just examine it. Be curious about that thought. And remember, it's just what your brain does, okay? Totally normal, totally normal.